Hey guys, I'm Alan, you're watching the Fireman Rides. So today I got something a little different for you guys. So even though I'm with this beautiful Suzuki V-Strom 800DE, we're not talking about that today. What we're talking about is actually, I'm introducing a new series that we're gonna do on the Fireman Rides channel, and we're gonna call it the Fireman Cooks. So I have a few passions in life. God, family, country, Alabama football, motorcycles, and food. I absolutely love food. And I've shared a lot of those other things with you guys over the years here. And now I really want to share my passion for not only for cooking, but for like little, dive barbecue restaurants and things like that. So, as opposed to starting a separate channel and trying to build from there, I thought I would just share it with you guys here on the Fireman Rides channel. So this first video here, this is a pulled pork recipe that I did that I'm still kind of refining, but I just want to share with you guys. And so if you like this new content, if you like the cooking content, let me know. Give me a thumbs up, throw a comment in there. And if you don't like it, throw me a thumbs up and throw me a comment in there too. Like I said, it's just I like to share my passions, and like I said, I really love cooking and I really love eating even more, as you can tell. So if you see anything that you like, comment, subscribe. Let's get cooking. You ready?
Ready.
Let's go. My gosh, those are good. Mm-hmm. Let's make Dr. Pepper Dutch oven pulled pork tacos. Hey guys, I'm Alan. You're watching the Fireman Cooks. All right, so we're out by the grill. We're gonna go ahead and get everything kind of get it started. It's gonna take a while for our charcoal to get going. But for this cook, we're gonna be using two different products on our Weber Kettle. We're gonna be using our our slow and sear device right here. And again, what that does is that it gives a separate chamber for the charcoal, but then this right here, this is a water trough that allows us to, again, fill it with water, and that's going to kind of act as a heat sink, and that water is going to boil off. And what that's going to do is that's going to kind of act like like I said, like a heat sink, and help keep that temperature down to that 225 range that we're trying to maintain and achieve with our Weber Kettle for our Boston butts. And again, like I said, it helps for that, but then it also helps to add moisture to the air to help keep the meat nice and moist. So this, again, slow and sear, I'll put they don't sponsor me at all, wish they would. I'll put a link to their products here. I've had this for, gosh, probably a decade, and it's been an absolutely great product, and I use it literally all the time. So that's item number one. Item number two is what they call their dripping griddle. And again, I use this thing all the time. And so what this is gonna do is that this is gonna go in the lower half underneath our grilling grate. And that's gonna block off the other half of the grill. Let me show you this. So this is gonna go in here, and it's, again, half circular shaped. And it's gonna go in underneath, and it's gonna block off the other half of the lower side of our Weber Kettle. And what that's for is, one, we're gonna catch all of our drippings in there. Not that we're gonna use the fat from the pork, but you just don't want it to make a mess and kind of cake up all your dust, your coal ash and everything. And it's also gonna help to prevent the air to help you limit the amount of air you have coming up through the bottom of your Weber Kettle. A slow cook at 225, you don't need a ton of airflow. So the more you can do to help block that airflow off on the bottom, the better off you are. So charcoal over here, we're gonna put a nice big stack of charcoal. We're gonna pre-stage a couple blocks of wood inside the side here, and then we're gonna pile it up with charcoal with a block of wood over here, block of wood here, and just kind of pre-stage some charcoal or bricks of wood. And then as we cook, we're gonna start from that end over there, and as it works its way across cooking, it's not too many charcoals, so you don't have too many BTUs trying to fire at one time. But then also it's a nice slow progression across here. We're not doing the circular method or snake or whatever you call it. Just a nice pile, really located on this far end, and then it'll slowly work its way across, and it'll start cooking that water, and then the charcoal will work its way across the grill, and that keeps a nice low, slow cook, and one where you don't have to keep feeding charcoal constantly. We might have to top it off maybe one time during the whole cook if this goes a full 12 hours, and it's a small butt, so it might not even take full 12 hours. But like I said, there's kind of the setup of the grill, so let's get it set up. So let's go ahead and get our fire starter going. That's it, that one little thing. It's gonna feed our whole fire. So we'll set that there. Throw it on top. Now again, we don't need to fill up the whole chimney. Just enough charcoal to get us started. Now, so today we're going to be using some apple wood, and we might throw in a chunk or two of cherry wood as well. So we'll throw a piece there. You really want to go heavy with the smoke early on in your cook. So I'm going to have a piece on the far end, and I'm going to have a piece there. And then once we put our hot embers on, then I'm gonna put another piece on top. Because you really, at the beginning of your cook, you really want as much smoke as you can get and get that rolling. All right, so this will give you a nice view of how we're gonna do our charcoal. Like I said, charcoal goes all the way. Take if you need drops at your slowest here, make sure you grab those out. So charcoal is gonna be all the way across the side here. Let's make sure we kind of move everything around, give some room for that little bit of charcoal that we're starting with our chimney there. And again, we got space over here on the side. So as soon as these couple coals here get started, we're gonna dump those in there. Then like I said, we're gonna fill up our chimney full of water. And then that way it's gonna give us a nice slow cook and progression all the way across here. And again, the water will act as a heat sink, but also moisturize the air. And again, you don't have to monitor it much. Now, they are calling for rain today, so it's gonna be one of those. With a Weber Kettle, it is kind of susceptible to different weather conditions. So you'll have to keep that in mind and have to keep a monitor of that, but I'll show you how we're gonna do that later on. All right, so here's both of our Boston butts. Again, they are the boneless butts, which I'm not the biggest fan of. This is the first time actually trying the Boston butts from Costco, and they only sell them with the bone out. Sam's Club sells them with the bone in, really kind of almost the same 2-pack from Smithfield with the bone in, which I prefer. But again, this might produce a faster cook, and that's ultimately the idea, is that you don't need to take the full 12 hours. You don't need to get up at 4 a.m. You don't need to have a separate headlight just for your cooking. But again, this is going to be just something to try out. So here's both of our butts. Like I said, they're both bone out. So and actually, it kind of gives us an opportunity to put more seasoning on there. So usually you only have the outer, but now we actually have a little bit of an interior, so we might even put a little bit more seasoning in there. And speaking of our rub, we're actually using this rub from Weber, and it's a brown sugar, smoky brown sugar. Now again, usually I make my own rub, but I ran out and I didn't have time to get any, so I'll throw this. I've used this before. It makes a really good product. And then as always, we'll use just some plain old yellow mustard as our binder to kind of hold everything in there. So again, we'll go ahead and prepare both of them exactly the same, and then throw both of them on the smoker. Now I forgot to get any gloves from my office, so now my hands are going to be nice and yellow for most of the day. So we'll go ahead and rub all of our mustard all over all the surfaces of our meat. Now I'm not big on cutting out a lot of fat. I don't trim the fat cap. Of course, this one actually, again, they trimmed a lot of the fat cap off already. So again, we're going to try out the Costco ones. Costco kind of nails it on everything else. So again, just a little less work. But if you're used to smoking meat, you know that it takes a lot of work. So, all right, so we got it nice on there. Again, we're going to use this brown sugar, smoky brown sugar rub that's made by Weber. Again, I'm not sponsored by Weber. I just like some of their products. And we're going to give it a nice liberal application of that to our meat. And again, you can smell the brown sugar in there. And again, the bone's out, so it really doesn't hold together that well. But we're going to cook it like a traditional bone-in cut. Actually, I like the smell of that rub. Now, I always cook with the fat cap facing up. So once we get it on the grill, we'll kind of dress up our rub again on the grill. All right, so there is our meat. We got it nice and ready to go. Let's go check on our grill, which we started earlier, and let's see if it's ready to put the meat on. All right, so our charcoal in our chimney is ready. We got our charcoal on the side here. Let's go ahead and dump this in. Try to keep it as close to that side as possible. And again, we didn't need much charcoal. So again, all of our hot coals, keeping them to that side there. We'll come back and we'll fill up our water trough, and then that way it's a slow cook. And try to keep that guy. Don't pick him up, but keep him over there as close as possible. Just like that. That's perfect right there. Now we'll go ahead and take one more chunk of wood. So we've got our apple wood underneath there, and we'll grab a chunk of cherry wood right here and throw a chunk of cherry right on top to really kind of start the process off. And then we'll come in with the apple wood. Now this is also the Low and Slow grate. Again, not sponsored by them. And then, so we got the apple wood in there. We're gonna throw that chunk of cherry right on top and let that get started there. All right, now we'll go ahead and throw our butts on. And again, they are boneless, so we gotta kind of hold them together. We're gonna keep them as far away from the temperature as possible. Keep them together like that. Nice and tucked in. Let's dress up our rub just a little bit. I think that that brown sugar rub is really gonna be good. So let's top that off right there. Again, you can't really have too much of your rub. Now, to monitor our temperature, we have our old trusty Weber iGrill. I've had this thing for probably at least a decade, and it's been through hell. So we'll use their air probe monitor. Now, you don't want to put it too close to your meat because you'll get false readings from that. But what we'll do is we'll sit it right in this area right here, away from the heat, but close enough we can kind of get a good, accurate air temperature reading. Again, our thermostat, or our thermostat on top of our kettle here is not going to be accurate because it's still right over top of the heat, and it's not going to give you an accurate reading. So we'll put this guy in here to help monitor the air temperature, and then we can make adjustments as we go. Again, Weber Kettle, you really have to kind of keep an eye on it because the weather conditions can really change how the heat is responding. Again, this is going to be a overcast day with rain kind of all day long, so we may have to open our vents up a little bit more to help kind of keep our 225 range there. So let's go ahead and close it up. Now, again, so as far as our settings go, what we're gonna do is, we already got the nice smoke rolling. We're not gonna keep it wide open this time, but we're gonna keep it about 3/4 of the way open on the top. And then on the bottom, we're gonna put our settings, we're gonna put it almost, literally almost all the way closed. We're literally open just, not even an inch. You can barely even see how far we have it open there. Again, we're trying to minimize the amount of air coming in. You see that smoke coming behind me. We're trying to minimize the amount of air coming in because what that'll do is that'll help keep our temperature regulated at that 225. Now, I still need to get some water and add it to the trough there to really kind of help, again, act more as a heat sink than anything else, and boil that water off as needed to help keep that temperature in that 225. So we'll put that water in there, and that'll help boil off, and that'll help keep that temperature regulated at that 225 that we're looking for there. And then, like I said, we can just kind of adjust it as needed. An overcast day, you might need to open it just a tad more, again, just to keep it there. A Traeger or something like that, well, sure, would be a lot easier to use, but I just love a Weber Kettle, and I love the simplicity of it. Plus, it's a more involved process to keep it at that regulated temperature. So let's throw some water in there, and then we'll just let it sit for a little while, and then we'll come back and check it. All right, so let's go and put our water in our trough. And you already hear it. You already hear it sizzling on that side over there. Again, that'll boil off, and that'll help keep our temperature nice and regulated. Those coals got a little hot because I had the lid off for so long, and it helps kind of stoke them up. So once we close it up, it'll really kind of smother that down and really help to kind of create that nice, good smoke that we're looking for. Turn on our Weber iGrill, which has been freaking awesome. the screen doesn't really work. It's a 135 is what it's showing right now, and that'll start to creep up as the temperature comes up. But again, we already got that nice smoke rolling, and your first couple hours is really when you really when your meat takes in the most smoke. So we want to get that thing just as smoky as possible, get the nice smoke ring on that meat, and let it roll. All right, so we're about an hour and a half in to our cook. Our water trough has plenty of water in it. Got a spray bottle here with some apple cider vinegar. And at this point, we're gonna start spraying our meat. Probably every, I took my wife's spray bottle. I actually really like this. Watch this, it just sprays. I like that a lot. So we're just gonna start spraying the meat every 30 minutes or so to really kind of keep it nice and moist, to keep that crust on there, keep it nice and moist, keep it from splitting open, keep it from drying out. So again, our wood's still good. You see our charcoal. Again, we're still just on that far side over there. We hadn't even worked our way across. We're working on a piece of cherry wood there, and we also have a piece of apple wood underneath there. And again, we're just slowly working our way across, and our water's slowly boiling off. We're sitting at about 240 on the internal, so I still need to try to drop it down. I don't know if you can see down inside there at the very bottom. That's our dripping griddle, and that's where we're catching all the drippings of the meat. Again, that way you're not messing up the bottom of your Weber kettle. And again, it's working perfect right now. It's currently not raining, so we have that going for us. I still want to try to get that temperature down just a couple degrees. Of course, it's going to spike right now because we're introducing all this additional oxygen. But again, we'll keep on rocking every 30 minutes. We're going to spray it down. Let's keep going. So this is actually a perfect example. The temperature was sitting at like 245, then all of a sudden I watched it and it dropped down to 229, and I came outside and it had just started raining. So even just a light drizzle like it is, that was just enough to drop the temperature 14 to 15 degrees. So again, Weber Kettle, you have to really kind of keep an eye on it. As the conditions change, you have to kind of monitor it and kind of watch it. Now, 229 is actually kind of where I want to be at, so I'm not really going to adjust anything, but just kind of an interesting note. Looking good right there. Keep it nice and moist, and you can still see how our charcoal hasn't even made it across this side over here yet. And let's pull him off. Still pretty firm. Yeah, come on, baby. Let's pull him off. Ay. We're gonna take him inside. All right, so at this point, the meat we're sitting at about 130, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it in half, and then we're gonna put it in our Dutch oven here, but then we're gonna do something a little different. Actually, let's go ahead and cut it in thirds. You ever wonder what one looks like before it's done cooking? There you go. Drop that in our Dutch oven. Let's cut into the thirds. Again, we're bone out, so we can do this. There you go. Look how it looks so far. Then we're gonna take this last piece and we'll leave it just like that. And we'll cut him again. Just be on the safe side. Cut through him again. And throw it in. All right, so there's our meat. So now we're gonna take our barbecue sauce. We're just using some Sweet Baby Ray's. It's kind of fitting with what we the rub that we use, that sweet brown sugar rub. So now we're gonna take our Sweet Baby Rays and we are just going to soak it. Not gonna use all of it, but a good bit of it. And just soak it. Now, that's not it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a Dr. Pepper. Easy. And we're gonna pour about, I don't know, half of it in there. There we go, right there. Now we're gonna throw the lid on. And we're gonna pop it in the oven. All right, so let's check on the Dutch oven pulled pork. We're about 3 hours in now. We're gonna pull it out. It might not be done because it was a pretty big cut of meat. But I want to see, take a temperature probe, put it inside, just kind of see how it looks, see if it starts to fall apart. So let's take it out. It smells incredible, I can tell you that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So, all right, and here we are. So it's now 2:48. So this is a 7-hour cook on this right here. And look at this. That's just falling apart. Every bit of that's just falling apart. So we're gonna pull that, pull it in the juices, and then kind of strain everything out. And then, oh yeah. All right, so try it out.
That might be the best one you've ever made.
Mm-hmm. Good? Mm-hmm. You like
best
it?
Best one ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, I need to try it now.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That's right.
All right, so we'll spray a little bit of olive oil in our pan. We'll take our tortilla there. Throw a little bit of cheese on there. This is a little bit of shredded cheddar and a little bit of shredded pepper jack. We'll throw some of our pulled pork on there as well. A little bit more cheese to kind of bind it together. Some black beans and some pineapple. Take it and flip that over. Put a little bit more cheese on it to kind of bind it. Flip that guy over. Let him sit. Start melting together. Start the next guy. All right, so like I said, we are done. To recap, what we did is we took Boston butt and we put it on the smoker for 3 hours, on the Weber Kettle for 3 hours. We smoked it, then we put it in the Dutch oven for an additional 4 to 5 hours with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce and half of a 2-liter Dr. Pepper, and let it cook out for probably about 6 or 7 hours total. And it really made the meat nice and soft. And then so now we're just making some tacos, more like mini quesadillas, really. So, wife, let's grab one. Let's try them out. Let's tell me what you think. You ready?
Ready?
Let's go. My gosh, those are good. Mm-hmm. So we got a little bit of pepper jack cheese, a little bit of regular shredded cheese. We got some black beans. We got some pineapple. It really kind of complements the meat. The meat's kind of smoky, but a little bit of sweet, a little bit of tangy with the. Right, it's actually kind of like a little bit of a Hawaiian style to the pulled pork. So really good. Doesn't take that long. Rainy Sunday afternoon. Just throw it on and do your thing. So if you see anything that you like, comment, subscribe. See you guys.